Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, for Dawn Busters of April 18th, 2020, we've got Lord Calvert Canadian. I purchased this at Labourie's Budget Saver on US Highway 90 business route, westbound side of the route in Marrero, Louisiana. This was the last bottle at Budget. I could see it had been there a long time. And I said, they probably discontinued it and just trying to sell the last bottle. And if I don't buy it, I'll never see it again. And actually, I have never seen it again. I saw the Lord Calvert Black in LaGrange, Georgia. Yes, at a liquor store on US Highway 29 northbound. And they had it for $11.99, the Lord Calvert Black. And as like a fool, I didn't buy it. And now I'm regretting it. What a dumb move. I'm telling you, I preach a sermon and I don't follow my own sermon. And it's not due to human weakness or something like that. It's just due to stupidity. You know what I'm saying? If you see a product and you have any doubt whether you're going to see it again, buy it. Unless you don't care about it. But then you probably wouldn't even take note of it if you didn't care about it. So, oh, man. Now, there's a new Lord Calvert bottle, all right? Luxco bought this from Jim Beam Company in 2015. And they went back to their old fancy squared off embossed bottle. You can look on the Lord Calvert website. I put a link up down there. Very nice website. It says it's to be enjoyed, not, what does it say? It's to be passed around, not judged. In other words, it's a simple whiskey. It's not made for like, oh, it's this, it's that. Let me point out all the flaws with it. So that's what they're basically saying. It's just like a campfire whiskey, something like that. Well, that's fine. It's about $12 a bottle. So. Hey, man, good morning, says Justin Hopkins. Good morning to you. Now, the competitor is James Foxe Canadian whiskey. Same type thing, just made as a hanging around the house, drinking Friday night whiskey. A lot of people are getting tired of hanging around the house. If we noticed this past week, I said, oh, the uprising is beginning. And now the president of the United States is encouraging it. Saying liberate Michigan, liberate Virginia, etc. And I like that because I kept thinking all along, he seemed to be the one that was most reluctant to put the hammer down on personal freedom. You know, he did it. You got to call him out for that because he listened to that little mad scientist and he encouraged this quarantine stay home. But I don't think he necessarily ever believed in it. And I know he follows a lot of alternative media, nationalist media and stuff like that. So he's, you know, Trump is not a patient person. So it's been over a month. So he's like, okay, I'll listen to your bad ideas for a month. And now we got to go back to normal. But, you know, the real hardcore socialist governors or whatever, you know, they're like, what do you mean? We're not going to give up our power. We have a lust for power. What are you talking about? And they're like, you read their stuff carefully. It could be months, years, perhaps, before we relinquish our control over you. You're only minions anyway. You're not really worthy of freedom. So I said to myself, I knew that I knew that was how they were going to probably be because, you know, you could, when they run for office and they talk, the way they carry themselves, that they have that sort of deranged or psychotic lust for power. So now that they've got it, yeah, it's like you say, wow, that heroin addict, he's going to stop soon. Yeah, he's going to stop soon. So they can't give up their addiction too easily. Oh, age 36 months. I got to correct my notes because I'm saying they have no age statement. I thought the Lord Calvert had an age statement. I forgot there was a label on the back. 3 years. Oh, heck. Well, I'll edit the information below. Okay. Man. The label itself hasn't really changed. It's just the bottle design, because this is a Julius Kessler bottle. If you go to a liquor store and find Julius Kessler American blended whiskey, it'll have the same bottle with the like shoulder epaulets or whatever, and then it's a straight beam bottle with a slight lip at the bottom, and then but the label, that cream colored thing with that look like a Nova Scotia flag, it isn't, but it's similar to the flag of Nova Scotia. And then you got the crown for the Canadian government, Dominion of Canada, and it's very complicated. And then they give a description in it. The band says imported. A blend of choice matured whiskeys, Canadian whiskey. Well, see, that description is telling you something. It's a blend of matured whiskeys. So in other words, they're taking whiskeys and they're maturing them separately. They're aging them separately. The youngest whiskey in the blend is 3 years old. The age statement is always the youngest, because it could be some 5, 6 years old. You don't know. Unless the company would choose to tell you, I guess. And they age them separately. Could be corn whiskey, rye whiskey, barley, malt whiskey, and some high wine. I mean, some actual wine, like plum, or could be distilled wine like brandy, whatever, but that's all aged separately. Then they blend it together and then immediately bottle it. Black Velvet blends them together, then ages them. See, they taken raw whiskey, blending them, then aging them for 3 years. That's how Black Velvet does it. They claim it's better. I'm not seeing that, because I don't think Black Velvet's that good. Other people love Black Velvet, and they probably watch my videos and think you don't have any kind of understanding of Black Velvet. I have an understanding of it. I just think people have different tastes. People like different things. And it doesn't make one person good or the other one bad. Like some people love eggplant. I can't stand eggplant. My parents loved it. I just hate it. Do I stay up at night worrying about who eats eggplant? No, I don't. If people want to eat eggplant, do I oppose it? No, I just don't ever want to eat it. I'm not hostile to it. I mean, I could eat it. It wouldn't make me gag. I just don't like the taste. So you get into a lot of political things with beer, wine, and whiskey, liquor, because some people are very like strident, strident. Just think of something. I love Sierra Nevada Torpedo. Oh, yeah. And then somebody else might come along and say, I don't really care for that too much. And then the other person explodes, how dare you say that? Well, people have different. Westbound, Kansas City Southern Railroad, westbound. That's a little odd, because usually in the morning they go on eastbound, from my recollection. I'm not a train spotter. I don't sit there and try to write down the schedule and tell my friends, I noticed that 5:35, if that's your hobby, it doesn't matter to me. All right, but anyway, it's just because I'm right close to the track. Those chimes were a little ragged. Well, they're both gold, so the appearance won't matter. Now, what about James Fox? Is it a blend of matured whiskeys or a blend? I think it's a blend of matured whiskeys, because what they're saying on Black Velvet website is that they do what other whiskey companies just don't do. Black Velvet says, well, we're the only, or they claim, we're unique because we blend raw whiskeys and age them together. Whereas other Canadian, like all of the other ones, perhaps, blend aged whiskeys. All right. Last night I got it wrong, but I was thinking later, I said, did I actually pour it in the right glass? Because James was talking on Fandango. Not to say you shouldn't be talking, because it's a hangout, but I could have been distracted. I was thinking, did I get distracted and pour one in the wrong glass with the wrong label and mix them up? I wouldn't want to use an excuse like that, but could have been. But then what did I say the whole hangout? I said they really weren't that different one from the other. I was having trouble anyway, which in that case was an indictment against the $15.65 whiskey. Because, you know, if I'm paying $15.65 for a 750 milliliter, that's your standard size whiskey in America. It's 700 in Europe. Isn't that a ripoff? In Europe, it's the bottle is 700 milliliters. 700. You're losing 50 centiliters. I mean milliliters. You're losing 50 milliliters, but you pay the same price. Oh, $7.50. Now the James Foxe I paid $8.99 and I got 1,000 milliliters. Now think about that: 1,000 milliliters for $8.99, 750 milliliters for $15.65, and I could barely tell them apart. And in fact, I couldn't tell them apart, and I didn't find an appreciable difference. Automatically, who wins? You got it, the cheap one, the cheaper one, the cheaper one. I mean, that's just, there's no other way around that. I mean, yeah, Lord, Heir to the Throne has a beautiful cork and it's a prettier bottle. But what's in the bottle? Now, the Lord Calvert, so let's say $12 for Lord Calvert. And I know it's $8.99 for the James Foxe because I bought a whole liter bottle of it. I know what it is. And it's cheaper than that. So let's see, six. I mean, what am I saying? 3 and 3 is 6. So hey, just last month, I could have got a full-size 750 bottle, 750 milliliter bottle of James Foxe for $5.98. $5.98. Yes, at Discount Depot, $5.98. So it is so cheap if you find it. And it's here and there in Louisiana, here or there, here and there, but not too widely available. But it's around and it's cheap. It's about as cheap as they come. And it's been winning. And it's been winning. And it's been winning. And it's been winning and winning and winning. So there's a lesson. Is very inexpensive Canadian whiskey bad? Not in my experience, it isn't. Okay. Lord Calvert, introduced for the United States market in 1964. All right. But there's very strong evidence that Lord Calvert, and by the way, the Calvert family, Lord Baltimore, the Calvert family were the people that founded Baltimore, Maryland. They founded Maryland. The thing about that is that the company was a really small, struggling company, and Seagram's came along and they said, your whiskey tastes terrible. You don't know what you're doing. We'll buy you out. So they cashed out and got out like around they'd started in 33, I believe, and they cashed out like 36. And then Seagram's started making Lord Calvert Canadian as a Seagram's brand. And then they kept making Calvert. It's just called Calvert, American blended whiskey in America. So they got an American blended whiskey called Calvert and the Canadian called Lord Calvert. And they're both owned by Luxco today. Now, when Seagram's went kaplooey, you say kaplooey? Yeah, Seagram's went out of business, you know, in the year 2000. Like literally the company just was gone. And it wasn't because of a coronavirus shutdown. It was just because it was a mismanaged company that was in terrible debt and had been losing money for a long time. So somehow the Jim Beam company comes along and grabs the Calvert brands. Or they may have bought it. I think they actually bought it from Seagram's before they went out of business, because Seagram's was starting to try to shed brands to get cash, selling a lot of stuff to Sazerac, selling stuff to Beam to get cash to pay the debts. Is that a good sign? Not really. And they owned amusement parks. They owned magazine companies. They own this. They own that. And anyway, 20 years ago, they went out of business. So there's Seagram's brands around today, but they're all owned by other people. But the brands don't die. brands live on generally. Reminds me of Full Metal Jacket, where the guy's like, but you never die, you live on, because the Marines never die. I say, what garbage, you know? No, you're dead. The Marines live on, but you're not going to be alive. Crazy guy. Joe Biden's interested. It's like Stalin about Russian versus German tanks. Quantity has a quality all its own. Exactly. I have a great book. It's called Why the Axis Lost World War II. Something like that. Like, why did the Axis lose and why did the Allies win? And there's a lot of great discussion in there, which most I had known about already, but it was very interesting to read it. The Germans could never understand that. But they could only look at things in a small worldview. You know, they always had that narrow view of everything. Whereas Stalin, he could take more of a wide view. And what's more intelligent? Being able to make a very intricate device, some kind of gadget that's complicated and expensive that no one else can make? Or is it more intelligent to make something simple that a lot of people can make and has more practical use? So you have to ask those kind of questions. All right, the aroma. Not profound, you know. It smells like, okay, sweet corn, some nectar from like a honeysuckle, nuttiness, little rye spice, wood from a barrel, malt, barley malt whiskey, and the flavorings could be the brandy, the plum wine, the rum. You say, boy, you say the same thing every time. Well, naturally, because I'm doing the same products, same style of product. This is going to be very close, as I believed it would be from the start. Trying to figure out if I can detect a difference. Ooh, that's pungent. Ooh, make your eyes roll back in your head when you take too deep of an inhalation. I would say these are probably 98% similar and 2% different in aroma. But in price, the Lord Calvert's a good deal more. So guess which one I'd buy? You know it. Boy, Sazerac, they can put out some cheap stuff that tastes good. I don't understand those people. They must have a lot of ability to, I don't know, do volume or something. Just, oh, I know why. Because they're selling all of the other stuff that didn't cost them too much to make, like Blanton's and Pappy Van Winkle. They're selling that for like 600 times the cost. Oh, yeah, never mind. So you can sell these things like 2% above cost and make money because you're selling the other stuff for outrageous prices and people are buying it. Say, I got every horsey and jockey. Okay. Sweet caramel candy. Oh man, you want to go, hey, y'all want to get together and drink some Werther's Original? You say, Werther's Original? That's a caramel candy nutcase. I know that's what these taste like. Are the liquor stores open in Louisiana? Oh, yeah. We don't really have liquor stores. We have grocery stores and convenience stores which sell liquor, and they're all open. They never closed. So it's free flow of alcohol here. Louisiana is like, there's sort of like a pressure buildup here that could really get out of hand in a couple of weeks. And that's just related to businesses being shut down and all this corona orders, and the governor and the mayor of New Orleans seeming very hostile to relinquishing their control. You know, they just seem like, what's going to last forever? You know, it seems like be their general attitude. Just get used to it. We don't care if the state is destroyed. What difference does that make to us? It seems to be their general attitude, and that's building up, you know. But if they had tried to stop liquor sales, or he might have been overthrown in some kind of revolution. I'm not even joking about that. But he wouldn't have dared do that. He wasn't that brave or foolish or foolhardy. Because Louisiana is a drinking state with a football problem, you know, and could have a lot more problems come. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not as. I don't give him credit for anything. I don't. But he might have some kind of residual intelligence that he could. I don't know. I just don't know. He might have really put himself in a bad spot. Man, these things are like 1 and 1. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm drinking the same thing twice, and I'm not trying to be flip or glib or anything like that. I'm just not seeing an appreciable difference. Now, maybe over here I'm getting more corn alcohol grain. There might be a little more grain alcohol burn. Like it's, if you want to know what I'm talking about, go buy a bottle of Everclear or Diesel, doesn't matter. There's other brands too, of pure corn alcohol. It's just distilled corn, and it's 190 proof. You could dilute it some kind of way if you had equipment down to 80 proof. That's what they do with these. And then you just taste that. You'd be like, wow, that's fiery. It's like, it screams like corn liquor. It's harsh and whatever. Well, yeah, that's how that one is a little bit. Insulted him a little bit. No, I didn't insult anybody. Insulted him a little bit. You were a little out of order yourself. All right. So maybe that's the clue that I need here to break the tie. Yeah, I think I know now. I think I know. But it was tough, and I thought it would be tough. I was not confident in this taste challenge at all. Because we like the cars that go boom. We're Bunny Integrate, and we like the boom. Well. I think this is the Lord Calvert. And why is that? It has less of that alcohol harsh burn. Well, we're going to find, not Lord Calvert. Oh, where do I go? Who do I turn to? I mean, the James Foxe. I sense a growing frustration in people. Things might get interesting if these authoritarian lockdowns don't abate. Well, don't look for them to give up the power too easily. Sometimes you got to take the power from these criminals, these gangsters, these thieves, if you want to call it a thief. And I hate to use those kind of terms, but they seem so appropriate. Okay. James Foxe, I'm calling it. One more sip. I'm not quite. If I ever seem too confident, that's just posturing. I'm just trying to delay the inevitable. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm not confident. All right. It burns. Yeah, I think that's the difference. Great difference, but I think it's there. So I'm going to say this is James Foxe. Have you ever tried Ciroc apple? Actually, I've never tried any Ciroc product. Any. And I noticed Walmart's got the Ciroc VS brandy, French brandy. So does Mathern's. I'm curious to try that. I'm curious. I'm very curious. You curious? Demands he reads poetry out loud, all right, in a voice. He likes you because you're still alive. All right, here we go. James Foxe. Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law, arm of the law. The hangman is coming down from the gallows, and I don't have very long. Well, heck. The James Foxe was the doggone one with the burn. When am I going to learn not to come on and do these stinking things live? I need to start recording them, and then if I get it wrong, I delete it. And then if I get it right, I post it, and I only post the ones where I got it right. And then you'll say, man, this guy, because I know other people do that, and you say, this guy's a great expert. See? My problem is I want to do it live where I take the risk. And then however the chips fall, I'd have to live with it because, you know, I'm so sane, I'm insane. So, well, heck, man, that bothers me. You kidding me? Lord Calvert, you screwed up my morning. Oh, well, no big deal. I said all along they were pretty dang close. It is what it is. Hey, guess what? Tomorrow, we'll start the day tomorrow with a challenge for you. 1, 2. We're going to do Gibson's rare, finest rare, 12-year aged, against this knockaround James Foxe. But I think here's my prediction. I'm standing by this prediction, and I'm not going to be wrong at all. I am not going to be wrong, you know, unless I don't get it right. But I guarantee right here, live on air, I guarantee that I will probably get it right because I'm going to do Gibson's versus James Foxe, and I don't think Gibson's is that good. And the more I drink Gibson's, I say it took you 12 years, and this is all you got. Hey. But I got it cheap. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. You're going to be shocked when you see this huge bottle of Gibson's, this huge glass bottle with a cork. Oh, man. All right, bye. Thanks for watching this video production.